And that's kind of how mania can feel.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, became a ton of confidence and like grandiose beliefs in myself. So, dude, I was shy around girls. I'd only been with my ex. You know, when I was 26, I'd only been with one person. But this confidence went through the roof with my mania, and that's where I really messed up. There's a girl at work that no one ever really showed me interest. I was a late bloomer, basically. But yeah, this girl started flirting with me at work. We went to drinks. It was my first time when I was 26. Is the first time I ever got drunk. Like we were drinking margaritas at a Mexican restaurant, and yeah, I was gonna go home afterwards, but then she called me. She's like, "Hey, I'm in a fight with my boyfriend. Can we get a hotel? I'll make it worth your while." And you know, I should have been driving home to my wife, obviously, but the sex drive just, I don't know, took over. And yeah.
So the drugs weren't even involved in
no
this
drugs.
is purely just a manic episode, it sounds like, right?
Manic episode, no drugs yet.
Wow. And, you know, when in your mind that just manic episode and that sex drive took over, you're not thinking of any regret. You're not thinking about your wife at all. You're just like, I'm on the way.
The way I describe mania for me is it's almost like a hedonistic, pleasure-seeking behavior without really thoughts of consequences. So yeah, I didn't even think about that until later. I felt a lot of shame later. But yeah, at the time I was like, okay, I got to do this. So yeah, we got a hotel, and you know, I feel terrible about it, but I cheated on my ex, you know, with that girl.
And it sounds like that was a real like escalation of the manic episode. Prior to that, you were just waking up early and, you know, alive more, maybe it sounds like. But this was, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe the first thing you did that was really fucked during that episode.
Yes.
How quickly did things continue to escalate after that?
So the next day I went home and told my wife what I'd done, and I packed up and left. So I didn't try to lie about it. But once I did that, I would say, like, you know, the floodgates were open, and I was just like, I'm going to just
I already came clean about it.
Yeah. I got drunk for my first time. I hooked up with someone else, and I was like, that's the life I want. So I basically moved out and started this whole new life. I wasn't doing drugs yet, but I went from never drinking to going out probably 6 nights a week and being out till 2 a.m. But because of the mania, I had this energy where I could still go to work and like perform at first, at least, until it just all goes downhill.
And in the moment, you didn't realize that you were manic.
No.
You just thought you would become a new man all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You just,
it was like new
you
me,
would come
new,
over the hill
me.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, when you're hooking up with these other girls, when did the drug use start after that?
Okay, so, and even right away, it wasn't easy for me to hook up. Like I had no game at all at first.
Yeah.
I stumbled onto that first situation.
Were the girls coming on to you at that point?
Not. I started, this sounds so stupid. This is back in the day. I'm a little older than you. So I was reading those books on game, like the pickup artist books. And,
and they worked, it sounds like, though.
Well, eventually, if you go out 6 nights a week and have this confidence where you can hit on everyone, you're going to get some base hits.
For sure.
Eventually home runs.
Yeah, I think any guy could do it if they just try hard enough. You know,
well, with the caveat also of the confidence that the mania gave me, because if you obviously if you go out there and you're not really talking to people, it's not going to happen. But
for sure,
I had enough confidence that it started working every once in a while, and then progressed. But I think the next crazy thing that happened, though, I'll get to that beforehand because it's kind of wild and shows another part of mania. I met this foreign nanny. They're called au pairs.
Okay.
And living in Florida at the time, and I somehow started hanging out with all the foreign nannies hang out together. There was like at least 30 of them that hung out from all different countries. And I started dating this Mexican au pair, and I'm still married, mind you, and she doesn't know that. I'm starting the divorce process, but she tells me that I think we've been dating 2 months, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to go back to Mexico if unless when we get married." So I was like, okay, let's get married while I'm still married. Yeah. This is just a few months later, a few months after the separation. So I fly to Mexico with her, and I practiced my broken Spanish, and I asked her mom and her brother permission to marry this girl. Because that's another thing about bipolar mania is you fall in love very fast. This is this happens a lot throughout my mania. You'll see, but so we're like ring shopping while I'm still married. In my head, I think I was like, oh, by the time we actually get married, I'll be divorced. But that's where I had my worst depressive episode.
Leading up to that, you effectively fucked your whole life up. It sounds like,
I fuck it up a lot more. This is
a
minor fuck up.
Even just
but yes,
on your
I've already
first
fucked it
major
up.
episode, you fucked your life up, and you
yeah.
fucked your relationship up.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd already mentioned your wife, initiating the divorce, it sounds like, but leading up to that divorce, kind of taking it back a little bit, what was your wife saying while you're going out and doing this stuff? How was she reacting to all this?
Well, I wasn't doing all that beforehand. Remember, because that first night that I got drunk was the night I cheated on her. So she really only saw the confidence and some of those changes in behavior because I wasn't out partying and drinking yet till after I left her. So she was confused about, I was definitely acting different. I didn't tell you, I bought a third vehicle. Because spending sprees are a big part of mania. So I bought a third vehicle. I was trying to buy a second house. And so she was like, "What? We don't need all these. Like, what are you doing? We don't need this stuff." And I'm like, buy. So she definitely saw, she saw some erratic behavior, but she didn't see like the drinking or that all came afterwards.
Do you remember when she first found out about you cheating?
Oh yeah, it's awful.
What happened there?
So I came back to the house after the night with that girl, and basically, she asked me where I was, and I told her, and she just started bawling. And dude, this is gonna make me sound bad, but I'm gonna just be honest about what bipolar is like. I didn't really feel any remorse at that time. I kind of didn't feel much anything. I just packed my stuff and left. After I came out of that manic episode, I felt terrible. And us bipolar people deal with a lot of shame. I think talking to other bipolar people, that's one of the biggest things we struggle with is shame from the things we do when we're manic. We just, do some things that we totally regret. And, they're very shit things. And I can't ever fix that. And I'm, very sorry for it. But yeah, at the time I wasn't, to be honest. Yeah. So, but I go to Miami right before that. And I meet this girl partying, and I fell in love with her because I was manic. I only knew her for 2 days, but I was
fell in
like,
love that fast?
Yeah.
Was it mutual or one way?
I don't know if she was in love with me, but she liked me. But after only knowing each other a couple of days, I convinced her to break up with her boyfriend who lived in Louisiana and move with me to Austin. So I moved to Austin with my buddy. Then this other girl that I barely knew moves to Austin with me. And that's where things progress even further. That girl and I don't last we last a few months. She cheats on me, as you can probably expect.
I mean, if she left her boyfriend for you that easily, it probably happened again.
Yeah. But part of why she cheated on me also is I fell into another depressive episode at that time, and she met me when I was manic. And when I was manic, I'm like wild.
Totally
and fun.
different guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm depressed. And another part of depression a lot of people don't talk about, but I'm willing to talk about, I talk about it in my book too, is so when you're manic, you have this crazy sex drive. You want to have sex all the time, but when you're depressed, you don't. And so like I was having trouble even having sex basically when I was depressed. So for her, like I'm not excusing what she did, but she meets this guy that's like a lot of fun. And then now there's this guy that can't even like have sex with her, is miserable. So
it's over with. Yeah.
And they say, the statistics say like 80 to 90% of bipolar relationships like fail, like even marriages. It's just hard until someone gets stable, it's hard to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she obviously I kick her out for cheating on me. And then I, not too long after, get thrown into another major manic episode.
That probably triggered a lot in your mind at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you're upstairs in the club doing coke, trying to find the perfect girl who also wants to do coke in the upstairs of the club. Did you ever find that one?
Yes, that's a dude, that's a great segue. But my club was only one level.
Okay.
But yes, some clubs
so
that
in
were
the,
upstairs.
in the back room then.
Yeah, in the back. But that's not where I met my girl. I met my girl at the strip club.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I always hung out with strippers. I mean, as addicts probably do.
Strippers are cool, dude. Strippers are pretty cool.
This is the only one I had a serious relationship with. I would like definitely hook up with some. Sometimes I paid them, sometimes I didn't, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, this one I met at the strip club, and dude, I don't know, it was like love at first sight. She was like one of the most beautiful girls I'd ever seen, and I tried to buy her a drink right away. Me and my buddy. This is in Austin. We had a little table, so I was like, "Hey, come get a drink with us." She's like, "I can't drink," and then she pointed down, and obviously I've been looking at other parts of her, but I looked down and she's wearing an ankle monitor, and I was like, "Oh shit,
that's the one."
Yeah,
that's the fucking one.
I was like, this girl could probably keep up with me. So yeah, so it was a weird experience. Like I did not spend any money on her at the strip club. We end up going to get breakfast at 24 Diner.
Interesting.
Yeah, like so she knew about me, I guess, like from in town, like that I owned the club and stuff. So I was like, oh, she probably just wants to hang out with me because I have money or whatever. But we fell in love later, so it wasn't just that. But yeah, she had a boyfriend at the time also. So we, after 24 Diner, we go to her place. She's like, wait outside. She gets some shit, and we go back to my place. And yeah, we hooked up all night, and I fell in love at that point. So she breaks up with her boyfriend, and then she moves in with me.
I mean, I can't imagine her boyfriend's point of view when she's walking back into her house that you've just drove her to grab stuff.
He was probably sleeping though. This is pretty.
Oh, you think
late.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense then. Even then, I mean, fuck, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, they had this weird, like, apparently they had this.
He knew what he signed up for.
Yeah, he was also not, from what I understand, also doing shit too. So it's not like they had this perfect relationship or anything. So yeah, then she moved in with me. We fell in love. So my ex with the ankle monitor, she couldn't drink alcohol, but she had, you know what GHB is? You probably know what GHB is.
Of course.
Yeah. So she would just like roofie herself, basically.
I've heard that's a lot of fucking fun, actually.
I've tried it. I didn't love it. Yeah, but it's because to me it does feel a little bit like drinking, but it made me just really loopy and goofy, which might sound fun, but I had like zero game when I did it. Like I couldn't even talk to girls. I was just laughing the whole time, which made
you need to be on point.
Yeah, I was not on point when I did that. But yeah, she had like a 5-hour energy vial, and she would do the GHB. And,
interesting.
And she, you know, she'd still do coke and stuff, but that was kind of her way of keeping up, and Xanax and things like that. So,
so she partied too.
Oh,
right along with you.
For having an ankle monitor, she partied the hardest. Yeah.
What was she on the ankle monitor for? Did she ever tell you?
Yeah, she got 2 DUIs within a 3-month period. I mean, the story that's the best is she was in a limo with her girlfriends going to a party, and she was already fucked up. The limo driver got out, so she got in the driver's seat, drove off with
and
it.
Stole the fucking limo?
But she hit a curb pretty quickly and jumped, like basically wrecked the limo and got a DUI. Yeah.
She's lucky that they just gave her a DUI. She just stole a limo.
They didn't get far.
She borrowed it.
Like
then.
she got in the front and just like
leave his field of
it
view.
hit a curve and I don't know. That's what she told me. So
she sounds like fun though.
Oh, dude, yeah.
She sounds like a blast. Do you ever still keep in touch with her?
No, I know where she's at. She's she lives in Austin still. She's with another guy and she's got 2 kids now.
Oh, good for her.
But we dated. And we'll keep going this story. But we dated for 2 years. I mean, 4 years. We dated for 4 years.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah,
that sounds like one of the longer relationships that you had.
Besides my wife, that was my longest relationship.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds like a significant contrast. Like you don't really, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't sound like you have a specific taste in women. You like women.
Well, dude, it changed after my wife, I guess. So I don't know. Like I was totally a blondes guy before my divorce. Since then, I don't think I've ever dated a blonde. I've hooked up with them, but I became like dark hair, dark skin was like my new thing, basically. So
nice.
And then I realized now that I had a knight in shining armor complex also. So like I was typically looking for girls that I was like, oh, she's got a good heart. Like I want to help her. Basically, it was
You're looking for damaged goods. It sounds like.
because I was damaged too. So
Yeah.
like I was like, and I looking back, I think a lot of that had to do with maybe when growing up, like how I felt like my dad didn't, it's like I didn't feel like enough. So I wanted to I almost wanted to be this person that
It was a deep-seated
was enough
thing
for
for
someone
you.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a trauma response basically. And that's where I figured out though that my ex, loves me. And that's why I put her with the heart of gold on the book, because she's the stripper with the heart of gold. Like
she stayed with
she
you.
stayed
in
with
that
me.
Super 8.
Almost any other girl would have left me. And that erased anything in my mind about her being with me for money or the wrong reasons, because I didn't have it anymore. And she definitely loved me. And if not for her, I would have probably ended up on the streets, because I wasn't really talking to my parents. They knew I was using drugs and all that. So she's like the one thing that kept me from like literally being homeless.
I mean, it sounds like you guys got to go get a drink at some point, despite what you said earlier about her being remarried and everything.
I don't know.
It sounds like you guys maybe got to go get a drink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to talking. I'm open to
I'm
talking
sure you
to
are,
her.
it
I guess
sounds
I don't
like.
know. Like a lot of it's hard to know what to do with things like that. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to know. Like I guess what I will say is she'll always have a spot in my heart where I care, where I'm rooting for her and I care about her. So even though we broke up later, and I'll get to that, but I'll always care very strongly about her, because that girl was with me through my worst, and that means a lot.
Did you ever speak to her or any of these girls that you were talking to and breaking up with after the breakup, or was it always like we broke up, fuck you?
I'm really good at cutting things off. Like I'm not a go back to someone type person, but
that's good most of the time.
It also typically takes me longer to break up with someone, but when I'm done, I'm done. Like I don't do this go back and forth thing.
It slowly builds up with you until you hit your breaking point.
Yes.
And then it's just, I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd imagine, as you had finally started getting all your stuff back together and kind of repiecing your life together, after your sentencing and getting medicated and everything, how difficult is it to like mend those old relationships? Did you have to reach out and apologize to a lot of people?
I did. So that's one of the things I always recommend to people, is to try to apologize and because like I told you, shame is probably the biggest thing that I talk to bipolar. Yeah, because through my content, I get to talk to a lot of people, and like everyone's always talking in comments or messaging me about shame. And so I think the first step you have to do is you have to at least try to reach out. So I tried to make amends and apologize to everyone I could. With my ex-wife, even just a couple, like I've apologized a few times, but I talked to my mom and sister, and I was like, I really want to write her like this long letter explaining everything, taking responsibility, but also like, I don't know if she knows this whole story of what's happened in my life. And I was like, do you think that will give her more closure knowing all that? And they're like, yeah. So I wrote her this long letter, and she didn't write back to me. She told them she appreciated that she can understand things a little bit more. So I've tried as best I can. Like you said, you don't get all your friendships back.
Yep.
But I'd say I got most of them back, because they knew that that's not the real me, They know that I'm, the person I am now and the person I've been stable for over 7 years. And it's a very different person, than the person that we're telling stories about, I guess I never told you why we broke up. She also had addiction problems, and like after her dad passed away, it kind of just got worse and worse. And I stayed with her for like another year, because I loved her to death. She loved me, but it just got to where I was getting too anxious. She was blacking out all the time. I didn't know what was going on. And I don't think she would ever cheat on me purposely. But dude, if you're blacked out all the time, like who knows what's going on?
Shit's going to happen.
It's scary. And so we finally broke up. But I like I said, I still have a huge care for her. It's just, we dated for 4 years. It just didn't end up working out in the end.
Yeah, it's one of those things, maybe if you met at a different time, it would have been great. But
and she's great now. She's not an addict anymore, got a family. I'm so happy for her. So we both, changed a lot.